What an exciting day to be a Mountaineer. I mean, it is truly, truly an honor and a pleasure to stand here before each and every one of you to recognize what the Board of Governors has done, what the Higher Education Policy Commission has approved, and there's not a person in this room that I know that's involved in those decisions that isn't just absolutely tickled to death of a decision to bring a president back to WVU. The beauty of the day is we also even recognize another president who we brought into this fold a few years ago. And I'd just briefly like to introduce Dr. Peter McGraw for joining us. And Peter, we really thank you very, very much for doing that.
Thank you very much.
You know, I could stand here and make all kinds of long speeches and long introductions as to the person who we are really, truly honored to have with us. But as my mother and daddy used to tell me, short speeches are the best thing you can do because most people will fall asleep if you go too long. But the gentleman that I'd like to introduce came here when he was 36 years old. And what a career he has had in higher education. And as a result of that, we are blessed to bring back that knowledge, that experience, that dedication that he has offered not only our institution many years ago, but a lot of those that he has taken charge of. With that said, I'm going to eliminate all those fine remarks that the university relations people had prepared for me and just say, see all that good work you did, girls? Huh? Just to say that, Gordon, I can't tell you, the phone conversations we had, the very first conversation we had, I was really taken with the sincerity, the enthusiasm, and the love that you have for not only this university, but for this state. And as a result of that, that blended over into all the various meetings that our Board of Governors had in taking this decision. And I know that our telephone interviews were fantastic in my mind. I hope you gathered the same. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great pleasure on behalf of the West Virginia University Board of Governors to introduce the next president of West Virginia University, Gordon Gee.
Thank you very much. So, well, thank you very much. And thank you for those gracious remarks. A gracious man, and I want to thank the board for the opportunity. And we just had an opportunity to meet, and I thank them personally for the opportunity that I have to return to a place that I love and a place that I appreciate. But I most importantly want to thank the people of West Virginia. At age 36, they gave me an opportunity to have an extraordinary life, a life that has been one that has been very fulfilling for me, one that has been terrific in terms of learning and growing, and one that has provided ample opportunity to see the world, but most importantly, one that has been about doing very important things. There is nothing more important in this nation than the education of our young people, and not so young people. But there's nothing more important than having a great university in the state that is fully committed to the social and cultural and intellectual welfare of that state. And certainly West Virginia University is that. It is a singularly important institution in a very significant time in this state, and I am grateful that I can be here to be part of that. Also, I will just note that it is a land-grant institution, and the pleasure of being part of the land-grant tradition is something that's very important. Dr. McGraw was the head of the Land-Grant Association, and Peter and I have been friends forever, but we both have this view that we have shared as friends and as colleagues that Lincoln knew the world in which we were entering. In 1862, when that Land-Grant Act was passed at the height of the Civil War, a time in which in many ways he should have been fleeing Washington. Instead, he fled to doing good and right by the citizens of this nation, creating a system of higher education that was about education and opportunity and opening the doors of the American dream to everyone. And that is That is West Virginia University today, and that is West Virginia's calling now. And so the opportunity to be part of that again is something that is enormously important to me and to those who are in love with this institution, which are the people of the state and beyond. Saying that also, to our faculty, I value and appreciate the world in which they work, and I want to be very engaged with them. And of course, our staff, institutions cannot run without a valiant staff, people who make an enormous difference every day. The students I love, and they keep me young. Sometimes I keep them young, and we had those moments when we do enjoy each other. But I do find it such a privilege to work with young people, and believe very strongly that this generation has the opportunity to change the world. We talk about the greatest generation, the World War II generation. I believe in many ways that this generation is even better and even greater because of the fact that they've changed, they have faced such enormous challenges with such optimism. And for that, I am truly grateful. So, saying that, what I'd like to do, rather than just talk, I'd like to be able to take any questions that any of you may have, and we'll have an opportunity to talk further. Questions? Yes. Can you just identify yourself?
Sure, Alex from the Dominion Post.
Hey, Alex.
What's it like being back in Morgantown today?
You know, Morgantown has changed. Wow, what a city. I am not totally surprised because I came back a year ago to have an opportunity to spend some time with my dear friend John Fisher at a ceremony in his honor, and I was just blown away. You know, I hadn't been back for a long time. I came back about 5 or 6 years ago when I spoke at commencement and became a graduate of the university. And I think that what is happening here, by the way, it's obviously one of the really vibrant cities, including college towns in this country. But the university has changed and moved, and it feels so much more powerful and so much more integrated. And by the way, I think that, I'll just say this, Alex, I think that's one of the things, and Peter would say this too, you know, if I thought of West Virginia University as I thought of it in 1980 when I became president, this is a much different institution, so what I have to do is I have to de-learn what I thought and relearn it, but that's a powerful notion for me to think differently about an institution that I so valued when I was here. Questions? Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Ben with West Virginia Public Radio.
Hi, Ben.
What is at the top of your priority list now that you're taking on this role? What do you feel is something you absolutely have to accomplish?
Well, I think that in a role of being a short-term president, I think that your most important role is to make certain that the institutional momentum continues. And let me just say this. I'm not coming to an institution that's broken. I'm coming to an institution that has a tremendous amount of institutional momentum, has found its place in the world, has a nobility about it. As someone asked me, you know, what would you like to do? And do you want to find people who are going to win Nobel Prizes? Obviously, but I think that Nobel Prizes are not the greatness of an institution. What is the greatness of an institution is its people, their belief in the place, and so I want to be very much a part of that story and make certain that that momentum continues. It has a strategic plan, has a tremendous board of governors who are committed to that, but that is not a caretaker role. It is one in which you take what you have and try to move forward. Now, obviously, I want to understand what some of the problems are. Every institution has problems, whether it be cultural or social, whether it be financial. I want to understand those so that I can try to be of help. I believe it's very important for the people of the state to know that their president cares about who they are. There are 55 counties. I'm not certain if I can make them all 55, but I'll try to be as present as I can. And certainly I want to make certain that the state leadership and the citizens of the state understand and value the importance of this institution. So I believe that the role of the university president is set the tone, values, maintain momentum, and tell a great story, and then make certain that there are the resources to move the institution forward.
My name is Mickey Ferferi.
Mickey Ferferi, you don't need to introduce yourself. I know you. You're my great friend. You used to give me hell when I was here the first time.
Sir, they got here a little late.
Yeah.
But I am legally blind, and I'm hard hearing, and I am due over to the Coliseum at 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're still talking at 3, at 15 or 3, I'm going to have to leave.
Well, Well, Mickey, knowing you, you'll be talking and I won't, okay?
I am here mainly, I don't mean to upset your press conference, but I want you to know that I remember you well, sir, on a wintry night going to New York in the governor's plane.
Absolutely.
You may have not forgotten it. You
I-
may have forgotten what I have.
It scared the heck out of me.
And the first athletic director was being honored at the Waldorf Astoria. But I'll talk to you later. I was just here to welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Back. I'm happy you're back. I
Yeah.
don't know how long you might be here, but I hope it's a long time.
Well, Mickey, I appreciate that. Let me just say something. You know, it's great to see people.
I hope to see you when you come back.
Mickey, let me just say something. I am honored that you're here.
I'm hard hearing.
Okay, I'm going to say it again. I'm honored you're here. And
We are looking face to face, maybe in your office. Is
great.
that all right?
I will come. In fact, we'll make an appointment. Okay.
I look
Thank you for being here.
and I wish you
One of the. By the way, I'm certain you all know that he's one of the great sports commentators. And Mickey, you haven't lost your fire. You may have lost your hearing, but not your fire. Okay. There's no doubt about that. Questions?
bet you remember what he's telling me. Will you?
I'll try to remember too, Mickey. So questions? Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't mean
No, you're perfect. Questions? Anyone else have any questions? Yes, sir. Hey, Bill. We talked the other day.
Yes, good to see you. Two-part question. One, is there something that you were not able to accomplish your first go-around as president that you'll be tempted to try to rectify this time, even though it's a relatively short tenure? And also, once you're done, how do you want people to ever remember you in terms of
Well, that's a good question, and I'm not certain if there's something that I tried during my first time. There are a number of things I tried that I failed at. I would like to be able to revisit those. I think that I think that the one thing that I tried to work on my first time that I was not terribly successful at, which I believe very strongly about, I think that the power of university is that we are one university, that we're not a collection of colleges connected by a heating plant. That we're not vertical institutions, but rather we're very horizontal. And so you just don't have a health sciences center and you have a college of arts and science and you have a college of engineering that they may meet once in a while. It is the power of this institution is its size and its scope and the integration of ideas and opportunities together, because the neurosciences and the humanities have an opportunity to do things that very few places have to do. So that would be probably as important as anything I could think about that I was not terribly successful at during my first time. And I hope that how people remember me is the fact that he came, he cared, and he made a difference. Questions? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions?
Final question, anyone?
President Keith,
Yeah.
Alex from the Dominion Post.
Yes, sir.
Can you flesh out your schedule at all on when
Yeah, we're getting work on it. I think that I'll start I'll start the first day of school, or shortly thereafter, probably about the 6th of January. Have some obligations before that. I will. I'm going to come back next week and probably really spend some time. And I told the board, and I think this is important for everyone to hear. I told the board I don't intend on coming and doing a listening tour for the first 3 months. By then, hopefully they'll be far along in finding a new president. I intend on coming in and continuing the agenda, and so that means I have to do some pre-work. I've got a lot of reading to do and a lot of understanding to do, and just what I mentioned, this is a much different place, a much more powerful statement about an institution, just taking a look at it. So I need to kind of get that in my head. So I'll spend some time next week being here.